Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another historical humans heritage. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the monumental earthworks of Poverty Point. So, the monumental earthworks of Poverty Point are a series of earthworks, mounds, that get their name from a local 19th century plantation close to the site.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, plantations. You
Nothing but good things happen in
yeah, gotta
plants.
love it. So yeah, it's located in Louisiana, and it is uh defined by a series of five mounds and six semi-elliptical ridges. Um these you know This was used as residential and ceremonial sites by uh, what I love how they call it this hunter fisher gatherers. We're just adding words into the acronym here.
Yeah, it couldn't just be
Uh,
hunter gatherer. No, hunter fisher gatherer.
yeah, no, they have rivers, so they get the fisher thing. Uh, about 3,700 to 3,100 years ago. Um, it's and one of the interesting things with Poverty Point is that it is the like preeminent mound building site in the United States of America for about 2,000 years. Uh,
Sheesh.
at which point you get the Mississippians with Cahokia, and then the Hopewell and the mound builders of Ohio coming in and doing doing their own set of earthworks that are capable of matching this in terms of scale, grandeur, and importance. But yeah, no, 2,000 years as the greatest earthwork in America is nothing to turn your nose up at.
No small feat, and it ended up being one of the beginnings of the traditions and cultures. Like we obviously associate Cahokia with it. We associate the mound builders, the Hopewell, but this is one of the first. So it's interesting, and this has an outer diameter of about 1.14 kilometers, which is interesting that they use that distinction. Um,
Yeah,
and then Mound A, which is just one of the biggest one.
yeah.
But the cool thing is they have collections and archaeological evidence of this as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's interesting too because they talk about how the alluvial lowlands provided a secure place for the settlements in an area that flooded quite frequently. So humans chose a spot that didn't quite flood and to build stuff, and that's
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And
Not only do we build stuff, we built stuff that made the ground level higher just in case the water decided to come for us.
interesting. Um, but it's really cool because you see how much the landscape actually influences the site and vice versa. This is a great example of what we in the field refer to as landscape archaeology, where you try to look at the greater picture of how these contribute to the nearby surroundings and how the nearby surroundings contribute to it. This has the plaza, the ridges, the swales, the aisles, a plaza with postal circles, which were evidence of posts being put there, so construction wood, um, and helped design a monumental landscape. And it shows a massive amount of effort that took place because you had to basically excavate all that dirt. You had to transport it. You had to put it there. You had to build it up. And you had to do so while trying to fight erosion, trying to fight um, getting the correct design. Like it's a massive, quite literal earth moving project.
And so this area is home to numerous abundant food sources, plenty of workable dirt, and very desirable hardwood forests. You know what it doesn't have any of? Stone. And stone is the key implement in making any tool during this time period. pretty much anywhere on Earth, but especially in North America. And the fact that the people here are undertaking massive building projects without direct access to the most critical resource for tool use speaks to a large trade network that they would have had to use for. Honestly, there's evidence of it stretching out several hundred miles of just trading the local food and wood for the stones you needed to make tools to get more food and wood and earthen mounds. So it is a very sophisticated society with a uh, you know long-reaching impact across North America. Like these these people weren't just living in a whole building, building with mud like a child making a sandcastle. No, they were part of an extensive trade network.
Well, and it's interesting too because we can track a lot of these trade networks based on the materials. Like every single stone tool is made out of a different type of rock, and you can usually trace where those rocks originate, the geographic region. Um, but it's impressive, and one of the things that this actually talks about that's not usually referenced is the fact that most of the site is within the historic site. However, there are elements that contribute to it that are beyond, and one of the things that they actually highlight is Highway 577 crosses the site,
Mhm.
and that they have to
Yeah.
work to minimize impact in the long term because roadwork projects, whenever they replace the tarmac or if there's ever any sort of large scale construction on the road, that does impact the historic site, and they usually will have archaeological monitors sitting there watching to make sure nothing's getting yoinked up
Yeah.
when they're doing their
Or
work.
or as it's also known, FEMA hell. It's yeah, yeah. This is like I feel like this is like the pinnacle site for FEMA. Like, oh, it's like almost like, all right, class, we're gonna go out, we're gonna figure out what the hell to do about Highway 577 because it's a problem in every sense of the word, and we are never getting rid of it.
Yeah, not even just that. It's pretty much a Section 106 hellscape because anything you do is going to be an adverse effect regardless of.
Yeah,
That's the beautiful part about a lot of these roads being built prior to the NHPA, the National Historic Preservation Act. So they didn't have
yeah,
to go through cultural review in such a stringent
yeah.
manner.
And now nobody wins, and no one ever will, and it's great.
But the site has been maintained and open to the public, and it's managed by the state of Louisiana as a historic site. And it's strengthened that research helps with the scope of management. So they
Mhm.
continuously do excavations, they continuously try to learn. So it's a pretty good system. It could use with a few more laws and protections, especially in a deep southern state. But we reserve those
Yeah.
for other
Yeah,
things.
and honestly, UNESCO does make a point of mentioning that its archaeological visual setting and agricultural character are all of outstanding universal value. And thus, even UNESCO is saying like, and they kind of could use a little more protection. Like, just hint, hint. Like, there are protections here, there is management here. Like, nothing is like immediately in danger of getting blown to the wind. But like, an extra bylaw or two discouraging tampering couldn't hurt.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty solid point for us to wrap up on this one. Thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you in the next video. Peace.